back, you're watching Overdrive. Tata Nexon has been Tata Motors' best-selling model till date. In fact, it also holds the distinction and the fort of being called the best-selling SUV in the country. It has now got an update, and we've driven the petrol DCT as well as the diesel manual variant to tell you which one is worth your money.
This may be the most striking update to the Nexon yet, but does it follow in the same footsteps? With this facelift, the Nexon takes quite a bit of inspiration from the curve concept in its styling. To this end, there are a few more changes than you would otherwise see on a mid-cycle update. The bonnet and front fenders have been reworked to go with the new front. The split headlamp look is now increasingly common, but the Tata Motors interpretation is one of the better executed ones, with the gloss black top accent and the DRLs incorporated into this discreetly. The detailing around the large low grille is thoughtful and helps reduce its mass. The full LED lighting, again in a deep vertical indent, is a good complement to the face. It's discreet when not in use, although unlike competitors, Tata Motors continues to offer fog lamps. Expectedly, the changes to the Nexon aren't as extensive in profile. The distinct contrasting window line accent has been done away with. It goes with the more mature theme of the design, also seen with the crisper treatment to the C-pillar that brings the roofline in line with the new look. At the rear, the lighting is the biggest draw, with the full-width signature looking especially premium, a fact amplified by the welcome swipe it does, right up there with some luxury brands. Boot space hasn't changed, so it's not the most spacious but easily accessed by a low loading lip. Now that very striking contemporary theme from the outside carries over on the inside of the new Nexon as well, and just like the outside, it merges with what was already an offer with the Nexon pretty well. You notice this sort of faux carbon fiber-ish texture here, which feels quite nice to touch. And this panel, which is contrasting purple in this particular car, you can have it in an all black shade. This too really, at least visually, makes a big impact. It seems to enhance the feeling of plushness in the cabin, makes it feel more premium. But really, one of the most impressive additions is the new infotainment package. You start with this 10.25-inch screen, which immediately takes the Nexon from having one of the weakest touchscreens in the segment to pretty much right at the top. Touch responses are crisp, and phone pairing is seamless too with the wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. The widget-based navigation makes most functions within easy reach, almost enough for you to not miss physical controls except for the ones for the audio. The smartphone-like sub-menus are similarly thoughtful and come with a host of kit like Alexa voice assistants and sound modes for the new 9-speaker JBL sound system. The instrument cluster offers up quite a bit of information cleanly and is easy to toggle through. The various views are well thought out too and offer a range of customization options. Especially useful is the Google Maps feed in this tool that makes navigating much simpler. If anything, we would have liked slightly larger fonts. Now, things haven't changed all that much in the back, to be honest. You do have new seats. You have quite a bit of under-thigh support. In fact, you are sort of lifted up considering this big bulge over here. The cushioning itself has changed. Even the backrest has become a touch more rounded off. There's a bit more contouring to it. So over long distances, you should be quite comfortable. A vast list of features is tied in with this. You get ventilated seats, connected tech with remote engine start-stop, a PM 2.5 air purifier, height adjustment for both front passengers, auto headlamps and wipers, and a single-pane sunroof being the highlights. This Nexon hasn't been tested to the newest crash regulations yet. You get an especially handy 360-degree camera setup with blind view cameras and the 3D view. Aside from this, there are 6 airbags, an auto-dimming inner mirror and TPMS. Now, expectedly, given that there haven't been too many mechanical changes, the experience of driving the Nexon hasn't changed all that much. The new sort of option or new combination that you can get is the 1.2 turbo petrol with the 7-speed DCT. Now, it does have 120 PS and 170 Nm, which are par for the course in terms of how powerful the engine is. And of course, a turbo petrol and DCT combination usually means for an exciting driving experience. But the Nexon doesn't do it that way. It's generally much calmer experience. The drivetrain seems to have been tuned for the kind of driving that we're doing, calm, sedate driving, where you aren't pushing the engine all that much. And this is where the Nexon in this petrol DCT combination feels the best. Now the gearbox, it does quite a good job, I must say, of ironing out whatever lag there might be in the powertrain. And quite unlike those really sharp-edged, hard-edged shifts that you would expect from a DCT, it changes gears much more calmly, much more softly. Tata Motors has slightly reworked the suspension, but generally the Nexon rides and handles like it used to earlier. So yes, like most new Tata cars, there's a firm edge to the ride at low speeds. This is well done, but you do feel larger potholes and broken surfaces filter into the cabin at these speeds. This improves noticeably as speeds build and the Nexon becomes solid and comfortable feeling on the highway. Now the Nexon can also be had with a diesel engine. Now this motor is again carried over from the earlier Nexon and pairs with a 6-speed manual. Immediately you notice that we're driving this one on the highway, which will probably be where it's at its best. Now the turbo petrol I already mentioned was a good, mile munching machine in that sense, and this one of course takes that up a few notches. With this facelift, Tata Motors seems to have worked on strengthening the Nexon's positives. The DCT does smoothen out the petrol's performance, but we would have liked to have seen better refinement to go with this. That said, the Nexon now looks special and comes with a cabin that feels more premium in look and in the tech that's packed in. Pair this with the great value that Tata cars usually promise, and this update should see the Nexon continue on its upward trajectory.
The Tata Nexon is not the only SUV Tata Motors has given an update to. The Nexon EV comes in as well. You can check out that video on our YouTube channel. We'll take a very quick break here on the show, but coming up on the other side, we'll tell you all about the Royal Enfield Bullet 350.